All right, welcome back to Fucking Talks, a podcast, episode 105. Today on the show, horrors beyond our comprehension continue. This time, scientists develop an entity in a lab, whatever that means. Then, illegals continue to overwhelm New York City, making Mayor Adams backtrack big time. Then, a new George Floyd just dropped. We will see if BLM gets mobilized this time. And last but not least, a trans woman wins a lawsuit forcing a sorority to accept him. What makes you wonder, don't normal people deserve their safe spaces too? All this and more, it's Fucking Talks, the podcast, episode 105, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
Fucking Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Grabboy.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, this week's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Allegiance Gold. As a lot of you know, we are teetering on the brink of an economic meltdown that's threatening to wash away your savings and retirement. Inflation has surged to levels unseen in 40 years, prices are spiraling out of control, our money buys less and less, and Americans are incurring more debt just to stay afloat. Gasoline prices are spiking and your monthly bills are escalating. This is what inflation is, that silent evil force that eats away your wallet and purchasing power. Basic necessities are now unattainable luxuries, and when prices spiral out of control, they not only disrupt your ability to live day to day, they also jeopardize your savings and retirement. You can't let this happen. Protect your retirement with gold. Gold is the smartest and most responsible investment you can make for you and your family. It's a safe haven asset that protects your purchasing power and your wallet from inflation. It's just financially smart for all of us to diversify our retirement accounts with gold and protect what we've worked so hard for. When it comes to protecting your IRA or 401k, I would only trust the best, my friends at Allegiance Gold. Get up to $5,000 in free silver on qualifying purchases when you visit protectwithfleckus.com today or give them a call at 844-4FLECKA. That's 844-435-3222. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Allegiance Gold. It's very important to have gold these days, Richard. You know how things are getting. All the money's gone, all the stuff is stolen, you got to get vaccine. You're going to need gold to barter once everything goes to ashes.
Yeah, smart.
And that's soon. All right, let's get into Doppels. We haven't done Doppels in a while.
Missed last Friday,
and then Tuesday's episode, we don't do Doppels. We barely even do them, but we do them on Fridays if we're going to.
Yep.
All right, the first one, what is...
That's you with your ruckin'. That's your rucksack.
I can carry a lot of stuff.
That's like 2-3 days worth of food.
I can carry about 700 pounds of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think that's me. All right, let's keep going.
YouTubing.
Also not me. There's me YouTubing. This one, guys, these aren't even good.
These are you. These are 3 for 3 is what I'm seeing. So
I don't see it. Keep going.
Barbershop. All right, we're moving on to RRB. Looks like
RRB Doppels.
Someone's prank.
I scared you,
Dude,
didn't
is
I?
that actually you?
You look like Eric Sharon, too. You sexy as hell, my nigga.
You look exactly like that guy.
Yep, that's me. That's why we're in Doppels.
You wear a beanie like that, too. You just don't have a hatchback.
I don't wear a beanie like that. And then here is the final one. I'm a convicted sexual predator, and I'm suing a condiment company from jail over mustard packets. So
How's that going?
not great. Someone beat me up in the yard. My glasses got all slanted.
man.
So
we can agree that none of these Doppels look like any of us. The one with the sack.
yeah, none of mine look like me, but all of yours
I
look
think the one with the
exactly
sack.
like
Can
you.
you open the one with the sack again?
What's the sack?
The first one?
Oh yeah, the rucksack guy.
I think that this is AI.
It is for sure.
So that's not even, it can't be me. It's computer generated. All right, let's get into some of the news. We have a very important housekeeping. We have 4 pages of housekeeping,
Oh gosh.
but it's really important, good stuff that needs to be covered. First things first, the blue eye reaction to COVID.
Yeah, infants' dark brown eyes turn bright blue overnight after COVID-19 treatment.
Okay, I think I saw a movie about that. Basically, if you guys have that conspiracy theory that the people who got the vaccine or COVID treatments are going to turn into zombies,
Yeah.
then this actually rings true. And then the options for potential zombie apocalypse are like skyrocketing right now with this. And then imagine we had a zombie problem and then all the zombies had blue eyes.
Ooh.
There was a movie about that. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm not
It's
sure.
iRobot maybe, and the eyes turn red or whatever.
Yeah, those are robots, but I get it.
But they try to get you the message ahead of time.
That's for sure.
So
I don't know. What you really believe it's zombie time and people can't breathe anymore after COVID treatments? I personally just think there's a little myocarditis and some blood clots in people's legs that they don't know about.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think COVID's obviously coming back.
You think there is a sort of delayed effect on breeding, right?
Yeah.
Like you think there's a delayed and people aren't going to be able to have kids as easy.
And then if they do have kids, then their kids will be sterile. And then by the time we realize it's like 20 years from now, and they go, oops, oh, sorry about that. Good thing there's 50 million illegals here. They all had kids. You guys don't worry about the population problem.
Yeah.
We got all these people from El Salvador here.
All right, good schizo theory.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. I hope it's not true. Let's lead with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Joe Biden walked out on the Medal of Freedom presentation.
Medal of Honor guy.
Medal of Honor, yeah. So there's a Medal of Honor ceremony, and Joe Biden just walked out. So here he goes. He gave him the thing.
He puts the medal on. And Joe Biden's supposed to walk out some side door that's like right up the stage. He's walking past the crowd.
And it's during the ceremony, and then there's a prayer that comes after.
Secret Service guy doesn't know how to act. He's like, I guess I'll follow
And the
him.
photographer lady, too, is like, is that the president just leaving?
Yeah.
And then there was a prayer after. And then Krasenstein, the Krasensteins got to work.
Oh, yeah.
They have to explain everything like, oh, this is normal. And they do it for Joe Biden all the time. And he said, facts matter. On Tuesday, right-wing commentators melted down on the false outrage. They shared a cut clip of 20 minutes, blah, 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 blah. Can you read it? I can't read it.
Sure, just apologize for even trying to start reading
I'm sorry.
On Tuesday, right-wing commentators melted down with false outrage as they shared a cut clip from a 20-minute Medal of Honor ceremony where they made it appear that Biden quickly left the stage after introducing himself to Medal of Honor recipient Larry Taylor. I can switch to Krasenstein voice while I'm doing this. But the clip came after Biden spoke for 15 minutes and then placed the medal on Taylor's neck and saluted him. Biden had also been exposed to COVID, so he decided not to stick around. Yeah, that's the thought process. He was thinking, whoa, COVID. Stop lying and start understanding the full story.
Oh, it was COVID. No, what happened was he heard everyone clapping, and then his brain just kind of like overrode it and was like, oh, clapping means it's over. You need to leave.
Flee, get out, get out.
Exactly like you said, he doesn't even go out that door if he was going to leave. And also, oh, it was for COVID precautions. You shook the guy's hand. You were 2 feet away from him. It's a room full of people. Now it's like, oh, I better get out of here.
The Krasensteins always seem to find an explanation.
We love it.
I know.
And then General Flynn had a great tweet that basically summed it up.
He said, yes, he did. Very sad for this Medal of Honor recipient and his family. Uncle Joe had no clue, I mean zero, what he was supposed to do. He should have stayed on deck with this soldier to celebrate this significant honor. And FYI, for the majority, there's a side door he should have exited through. It appears the Secret Service agent in the back was surprised. This guy is not in charge of himself. God help us all.
Yeah. So
obviously, I mean, it's just every week there's a senility moment.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Then they don't play it on the media. They don't play that anywhere. It just goes around in the right wing circle and we go, see, we do the Leo DiCaprio, see?
We got him again.
But then it doesn't go anywhere.
And then it doesn't go anywhere. Everyone has his back. Another example of everyone having his back is the job numbers. Joe Biden's job numbers, for some reason, always come out great. And then they get quietly revised a little bit later when no one's looking.
Exactly. It says,
yeah, go ahead.
Every single jobs report in 2023 has been revised down per Peter Tarr. And you can see the percentage changes are pretty extreme. The June total was 49% down, some 20%, some 16%. So it looks good and doesn't crash the market that day and then gets quietly brought down later.
The June numbers go from 209 to 105.
Yeah.
Oh, we had to adjust the number a little bit. Oh, by how much? Half.
It's the same thing. The same thing as COVID. It's just like, get them a number that won't crash anything and will make us survive. And I personally believe that inflation numbers are similarly cooked.
Yeah, the books are cooked, and everyone's got his back. And then the numbers come out, and everyone goes, oh, Joe Biden's doing a good job. And then a week later,
yeah,
actually, it's way less. It's nothing. All right, let's move on. We're still on the first page of housekeeping, so we kind of have to keep moving. Liberty Safe.
Yeah.
There was an FBI raid on a guy's house, and Liberty Safe gave the code over.
Backdoored him.
And they have codes for everyone. And then now they're changing their policy where you can opt out of them having a master code.
Yeah, crisis mode, PR, crisis mode management, right?
Yeah, and they're trying to not get Bud Lighted, but I think it should have been you opt in if you want them to have a master code.
Yeah,
and then
of course.
There's kind of like this thing where it's like, oh, what if a kid gets locked in the safe? You need to have the code. And it's like the same scare tactic from COVID. Like, oh, you don't want to kill your grandma, just get the vaccine.
Yeah.
And it's like that same thing of, if you have a safe, you can handle it.
Yeah, little kids are always pulling a 40-pound door in behind them and then spinning the wheel.
Yeah.
And
then you lose the code.
Yeah.
So if you can handle a safe. You bought a safe, you can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a big boy. You can know the code.
Nobody needs to hold your hand, remembering the
Keep it
code
safe.
and doing shit.
Everyone
yeah.
just forgets how to be an adult, I guess. Liberty Safe's going through crisis mode now, trying not to get canceled.
And they're trying. I give them credit, They're trying to do the right thing, but it's like, why were you doing that whole first part?
Yeah.
No consultants or any sort of liberty-minded people at the Liberty Safe Company? I don't know. So
a little weird. Give the code over to the feds. And then also on top of that, which I thought was a little weird, you know how everyone's scared about a firearm registry?
yeah.
You don't even need one if you have a Liberty Safe registry. Mm-hmm. You know everyone who has a Liberty Safe and what the code is to their safe. It's basically the same thing as a firearm registry.
Especially because it's like that just eliminates single gun owners and goes, all right, this guy's got at least 5.
Yeah, he's got enough that he needs to lock him in a huge box.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We've been watching the U.S. Open this week, especially me. Rapboy, he likes to watch towards the end.
I can watch the quarterfinals and the finals.
Yeah.
I can't watch random guy versus random guy, and especially not random woman versus random woman. So
It's true. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I've noticed something. The Russians, they don't show the Russian flag.
who is that? NBC? CBS?
I think it's ABC.
ABC that it's on.
And then ESPN might do it for the recaps, but for the actual events themselves, the actual matches, the Russians don't get to show their flag. So the Russians are bad.
Because Russia did mean stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to get Ukraine.
So this random tennis player who you have no idea what his political ideology is or if he's against it or probably war-averse tennis guy.
Yeah.
They don't show his flag because, a Security Council country it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I actually have no problems with Russia. And I think with the Russia-Ukraine situation, it would be a lot better if everyone just knew the truth of what was really going on instead of like LARPing and pretending that, oh, Ukraine's pushing Russia back and Ukraine's holding their own and defending their country. Ukraine lost 400,000 troops.
Yeah, that guy on Tucker was saying, he was estimating he was a U.S. military, I think general, and he said 400,000 dead Ukrainians compared to 50,000 dead Russians. So
it wasn't even close. It was never close. And Zelensky just led them into a buzzsaw.
And America is continuing to lead them into a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
I don't like to see 400,000 able-bodied men die.
Exactly.
And
that's exactly it.
Another thing, if you look at Reddit, the whole front page of Reddit is like, Ukrainian sniper gets Russian taking a shit. Or like, watch the Ukrainian drone drops bomb in trench. And it's all Ukrainian propaganda. And it's like, but 8 times as many Ukrainians have died. So Russia has that same video on Russian Reddit somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're 8Xing you.
Yeah, and also Ukraine is obviously like this super corrupt country. All the globalist powers are using it to launder and wash their money, send their money through. And then you kill 400,000 like military-aged men, mostly men.
Yeah.
That's kind of who would have stopped the corruption eventually.
Yeah, I think they're going to be corrupt puppets of globalism for a while.
Yeah,
now.
that's like generations now, like entrenched.
Of course.
They're not going anywhere. So that's bad.
Dead for a piece of land that Russia is going to get.
And kind of should have had. And you could also argue the people who live there like were ethnically Russian.
Yeah, they're the same population, basically.
So it's like this weird thing. But, Russia, bad. You can't show your flag on U.S. Open tennis player who probably lives in Boca Raton.
Yeah, we're going to fight to the last Ukrainian. Like, okay, that sounds like a lot of death.
Yeah, and then it's going to be all homosexuals and Zelensky running the country. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. The Proud Boys, 22 years in jail for Enrique Tario. Is that correct?
Enrique Tarrio, yeah, he got 22. He wasn't even there, but he was there in spirit, according to prosecutors and the judge and the jury. This is kind of a brief rundown. Proud Boys convicted of conspiracy, even though by the court's own admission, one, there was no plan to storm the Capitol. Because obviously, what was that going to accomplish? That kind of was just a weird, inorganic thing that happened, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that was going to stop anything. If we occupy the Capitol for 6 hours, it's over.
And if anything, they tried to do that with Kavanaugh.
100%.
And they actually did try to stop the process.
There was no plan to stop the certification. And number 3, one of the defendants was in prison in a different city at the time, convicted for an unspoken conspiracy. So that's kind of the main thing I want to talk about.
An unspoken conspiracy.
The rulings also permitted jurors to convict on conspiracy, even if they found there was no plan to disrupt the certification of the election. None set forth an explicit plan to storm the building or to forcibly disrupt the election certification taking place inside. And there were no explicit orders to attack the Capitol that day. But, yeah.
You know who did give explicit orders to attack the Capitol? Ray Epps. He must get, a life? He must be in jail for life.
It must be 10 concurrent life sentences.
He was
for
yelling,
Ray Epps.
"We need to go into the Capitol."
Yeah.
They must be the guy then. That must be who they're really going after.
They probably made an example out of him, racked up 1,000 years.
Yeah. We need to go into the Capitol.
He was the guy.
He kept yelling that. And Michael Knowles had a great tweet about this that pretty much summed it all up. He said,
Enrique Tarrio was sentenced to 22 years in prison for seditious conspiracy. He wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. For context, the average prison length for rape is less than 14 years, human trafficking, 10 and a half years, child trafficking, 16 years, murder, 17 and a half years.
so he's going to jail worse than all those things, and he didn't even say anything, and he wasn't even there.
Fun living here, guys.
But I think it's like
It's a message.
It's a message.
Yeah.
Like they kind of see the Proud Boys as like a group that would have stood up to corruption, and then they're just making examples of them.
Of course.
Any way they can. All right, let's move on to something that's very important to me.
Okay.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
So we moved into a new house. We live in Florida now. If you guys didn't see last episode, we live in Florida. We're back at St. Pete. And I ordered rugs on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, great. I'll get a 10-foot rug, an area rug that I could put near the door so when the dog goes in the pool, he doesn't bring water in the house. Could be nice. And then I open the rug. It's 10 feet long, and it's all folded up and creased. And you see how it looks? And then everyone will say, oh, you need to steam it.
How's he going to steam it?
If I needed to steam it, I would have just bought the rug at the store. I need to steam it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Run
need
your
to
shower
steam it.
as hot as it goes and put it in there for a while, I guess.
Then I would
but-
have just gone to the store and got the rolled up thing this big. They can't deliver a rolled up rug anymore. This happened twice.
This is going to be, it's going to be that wrinkled rug for months.
Forever.
Yeah, pretty much.
They
I know you.
Yeah,
I know you.
They put a 10-foot rug in, made it this big. And then, oh, you need to steam it. Well, if I needed to steam it, I would have gone to the store and bought it on the roll. Why would I need to steam it? So I'm just very upset about that.
For sure.
And then
Understandable.
there's some other things, some other moving pains, I guess you could call them, moving into the new house. We've been exercising Jerry in the pool. Mm-hmm. That's his main way of exercising. And I have a bad feeling the neighbors hear him breathing and think it's me. So let's go let this play. So I just, because I introduced myself to everyone, how's it going? And then they probably hear me in the pool, like eating salami or something. They know I'm a bigger guy. So I hope they don't think it's me breathing like that. Also, if they hear any snoring at night that sounds like someone struggling to stay alive, that's Jerry too.
The sleep apnea, yeah. That's Jerry. Duh.
All right, moving on. We're only on page 3 of housekeeping. We have to kind of keep going. The snake robot.
Look at this.
You like
guys see this?
having these legs? You like having your legs back?
I don't believe in stuff like that.
She's going with it.
Tricked him out. Gave him legs. I like how his little tail comes out the back.
Yeah. This is not, snake robot, not happening.
Not worth your time, guys.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Scientists created an entity.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound good.
It ended up, this is the headline is worse than the fact check type thing. They made this sound a little bigger than it was, but just in, scientists have grown an entity that closely resembles early human embryo. without using sperm, eggs, or a womb.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Probably keep an eye on that.
That's a movie as well. An entity. Blue eyes from the COVID stuff. An entity. It's getting predictive. It's getting movie.
They're ramping it up. They're going to do something. Hopefully there's better security at those labs. All right, let's move on.
That's it? No bits for that? No entity
No,
bits?
I just wanted people to know.
Okay.
Just keep an eye out.
All right.
The mail, Richard Rapoy and I have had not a disagreement, but we approach how we mail things differently, and we need the audience to kind of decide whose side they're on. I do 2 stamps. I do 2 stamps on the envelope.
Fleckes does 2 stamps, and he calls it tipping the mailman.
It shows you're serious.
Yeah, I get it. But you're using forever stamps, which never go out. You can always mail a forever stamp. I use 1. I trust it's going to get there because I know the rules. Fleckes likes to tip the mailman, as he calls it. So
I feel like 1 stamp isn't going to get it there.
That's fair.
I'm like a high-end customer. 2 stamps, it's like, whoa, extra care with this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes them kind of, it's like when you tip the valet, like, oh, we'll park you up front.
Yeah.
It's like, they see it and they go, oh, this guy's serious.
I get it.
This letter's got to get there.
And we'll let the audience decide.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. Are you, do you tip the mailman or not? 2 stamps better than 1. I don't think anyone's going to argue that.
Here's another thing that I think. I like to drop mail when I do outgoing mail. You know how you can put it on your mailbox and the mail carrier will take it?
I don't do that.
I like to drop it in a box somewhere. Because the mail carrier, he's handing out mail, and you give him one to keep.
And he puts it in his bag of other mail he's delivering.
I think the chances of mix-up go through the roof there. So
definitely mix up. So let us know in the comments and use this opportunity to tickle the post. I haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah.
Like the video, leave a comment, give us a little tickle, help us juice the algo. It goes a long way. Make sure notifications are on, stuff like that.
Yeah, the audience has been doing a great job.
Yeah, it goes a long way, guys. All right, eating at a restaurant alone. This will be another debate.
Yeah.
You're telling me that someone going to a restaurant alone isn't weird? Go and make some friends. I just think people that do it are pathetic, to be honest with you. I think Alex is one of those losers that goes to restaurants alone, and I think they're weird. I go to restaurants, I'm always with someone, I'm very social, and I'm just uncomfortable when I see someone dining alone. I think, what are you doing? I just question their motives. I think you are really, really quite bizarre.
Lead a very busy lifestyle.
That's good. Well, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that guy, just eyeballing him, is the type of guy to have a lot of friends, but nobody really likes him. Nobody, no real friends. You know what I mean?
Oh, I got friends. Oh, my tire's flat on the side of the highway. Not answering.
Yeah, click. See ya.
So I have the opposite approach. I think it's great to eat alone at restaurants. I've done it a million times, and it actually helped me develop into a better person.
It makes you stronger, I think.
It makes you way stronger.
So,
and whenever young people, if I'm mentoring like a younger person and they're in my life and they're like asking what to do to figure their life out, I tell them, go eat at a restaurant by yourself. And at first you might feel kind of goofy or, oh, I'm alone, everyone's looking at me, or like, oh, I feel stupid. And I basically say, eat at a restaurant by yourself until you enjoy it. And then once you enjoy it, it's from basically realizing that everyone else around you is kind of retarded.
Okay.
So you're like, oh, everyone's looking at me. Oh, am I weird? Oh, I don't have any friends. Are they going to invite me to their table? Until it gets to the point where you just go to the restaurant, you enjoy being by yourself, you enjoy being with your own thoughts, and you couldn't care less about what the people at the restaurant actually think. And if you look at each individual at the restaurant, they're pretty much all stupid.
A good majority are. We actually went out to eat the other night, and there was a conversation going on next to us that was just embarrassing.
Horribly
No
embarrassing.
substance, nothing. So, I mean, I'd rather eat alone than deal with just someone pooing in your ear.
Yeah, very fun to eat alone. And I did that in New York for a long time. After work every day, I'd walk to the Village Den in the West Village.
Yeah.
And I would just eat by myself every day.
He would feed. We call it feeding.
That's where I'd
because he would
feed.
just go feed.
And I could use the extra table space with other people not being there to help with the feeding.
Yeah.
No, but it was great. And I actually developed like a stronger mental just because I didn't care what people think. And in fact, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed eating by myself at the restaurant. And I don't think, oh, I need people here so people know I'm cool.
Yeah.
What are you, stupid?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Tucker interviewed a guy who sucked Obama.
Yeah, Obama was getting sucked, a little crack, stuff like that. We're not going to get into it too much.
Everyone saw it.
Yeah, we're debating, and the main debate is the credibility of this guy, which I get it, you know? People are comparing it to Christine Blasey Ford type shit, where it's just, I said it, and there's no proof.
And exactly. And conservatives are trying to act like they're above it. Some people are like, oh, Tucker's gone downhill. This is bad.
Let him cook.
First of all, it's true. Second of all, they accuse Kavanaugh of being in a rape gang.
A gang raping beer thing as a high schooler.
In high school. And no one said anything about that.
Yeah.
And Obama's getting sucked. We all knew it. And then Rob, you guys all know Rob, Mr. Ceviche Cabana, Tennis, Miami, Vespa Downpour business meeting, Miami Beach. He said, I met Obama and shook his hand at a White House event in 2011. He's no top. Meaning that Rob and Obama shook hands, and then they had like a mental who's gonna fuck who thing.
A little gay standoff.
And Obama's Obama to bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom Obama, which is disgusting and weird. But, you know, it's good to know that. And then I think they're just kind of getting this ahead of Michelle Obama's run. They're just going to get all this weird gay stuff out so they can be like, oh, that's old news. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory or whatever.
Okay.
But also while we're here talking about Rob's at Fashion Week.
While we have you.
Yeah, Rob's at Fashion Week this week. He posted this tweet: a Backstreet Boy, a Pussycat Doll, and a cultural commentator wait for the show to start at NY Fashion Week.
Yeah, and Rob's wearing mesh.
Yeah, mesh is the new shirt for men. We can let that rip.
Mesh is the biggest male fashion trend that is going on this fall. Now look, I have been seeing so much mesh out there. It is completely
That's good.
insane.
Yeah, we
Rob,
don't need to let.
he's baiting us.
I know.
He's baiting us.
He wants us to wear mesh on the show.
Yeah, and he wants to have everyone send me the Rob's wearing mesh tweets and videos.
I get it.
And it's working.
Yeah.
It's like red meat for us.
Exactly.
And then Rob had a career tweet he posted about. He said, oh man, 2022 podcast canceled, canned from digital media contributor position, left another organization, took some time, regrouped, found my voice again, figured out what I really wanted to say. Now, more relevant on Twitter than I've been in years, about to ink another media contributor deal, relaunching my podcast my way, found new streams of income in fitness and fashion. Don't ever give up. Don't ever quit. Ever. So
I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up.
And you thought Rob was getting daddy boyed.
I did.
You thought Rob had some older homosexual man who was paying for everything, taking him to Ibiza.
I thought it was a possibility.
You know?
Chinese Donut Boy really thought that too.
And I always knew that Rob wasn't getting daddy boyed because he's an entrepreneur. Multiple streams of income. I know he's a business savvy, business minded guy.
Yeah.
So now everyone knows he wasn't getting daddy boyed. Stick with your career. Never
Settled.
give up.
That's settled.
Yeah, that's settled. And then also, Rob, we're obviously, this is not like negative stuff talking about Rob. If they're talking about you, you're doing something right, is what they say.
Yeah.
So this is all good stuff.
What page of housekeeping?
This is actually the last page of housekeeping.
Okay.
Let's see. And then on top of all this, last closing thing, he wasn't even born in America.
Who, Rob?
Obama. Obama, he was a little CIA baby.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. Little CIA baby, it'll all come out. All right, we're done with housekeeping. Before we get into Cringe of the Week, I'm just reminding you guys, FleckasTalks.com has exclusive content for members only. We did over 3 hours of bonus content in the last month. Basically, the show is like an hour each episode, and there's 2 a week, so it's about 8 hours a month. We did 3 hours of exclusive FleckasTalks.com content.
So it's basically a show and a half out there for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. We did Q&A's. We did John Doyle interview. We have a bonus land that comes out every Friday. Today's comes out at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about a knife versus a cop situation. It's Ma'am Part 2. A lady brought a Bluetooth speaker on an airplane. All good stuff. FleckasTalks.com is the website. Go there today. First month is free. We also have a Discord. We're all hanging out in the group chat. Join us, FleckasTalks.com. It's very important. Goes a long way. Let's get into Cringe of the Week. That wasn't a bad housekeeping.
No, not bad at all.
All right.
A little heavy on the Rob shit. Come
A little
on.
heavy on the Rob shit. I put it towards the end. All right. Sorority update. Remember that trans person who was getting erections in the sorority and everyone got mad?
Yeah, Artemis was bricked up at Kappa.
Yeah. Well, now.
That's like a Bluto. That's Bluto. That's the dream, right?
Animal House.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened.
Lawsuit was brought on by, I believe, 6 members of your sorority.
I just like to hear the voice.
Do you have support from other women in the house?
I am very glad to have such great supportive sisters in my chapter. I think as a sorority, Kappa to me demonstrates so
All right.
much.
We get it. We just wanted to hear the voice.
Hear the voice. Judge dismisses lawsuit by sorority sisters who sought to block a transgender woman from joining. That was the transgender woman right there. We've covered this person a lot. We actually have an inside man who DMs me from the University of Wyoming.
Yep. So the case was dismissed. The trans person's in the sorority. You have to like them now.
She's dug in.
You got to braid her hair and ignore her boner.
Just got a court order from the judge who's braiding my hair, bitch.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, this is kind of just, we're not really concerned with the legality of it. Obviously, you know, any judge can do anything these days. That's what we're learning. A judge with a political agenda can just interpret whatever the fuck they want.
And they do.
And they use it, as we've seen. But, like, this person is suing or, like, fighting in court to stay in with a group of girls. And it's like, they're suing you to get you the fuck out.
And then even if you win the case, congrats, they still want you out.
60% of the people, and she said, I have some, or he said, this man said, this bricked up guy who lurks around the halls of the sorority. He says, oh, I have support from some of the sisters. And it's like, yeah, but the vast majority want you out and you're fighting a legal battle to stay in. Like, can you imagine in any social situation, like 70% of the people wanting you out and then you fighting to stay?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, message received. I'll find my people elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
There's an all-trans polycule in Michigan's Upper Peninsula that would love to have you.
Exactly. Instead, you want to join Kappa?
Yeah, Kappa.
It's like the girliest sorority. Just, you know,
It's one of the best.
Exactly. There is an all-trans polycule in Michigan's Western, is it the Upper Peninsula?
Upper Peninsula. There's no Western.
Upper Peninsula. You can join that polycule, but you don't want to. You want to join Kappa. And it makes you kind of wonder,
You got to fight a legal battle, too.
don't normal people deserve to have their own spaces too?
Yes.
All the spaces for normal people have to accommodate and adjust to have a trans person or this type of person or that type of person. What about spaces for normal people?
Yeah,
They deserve their spaces too.
Yeah, nobody is lurking around the corner with a boner in the normal spaces. So I
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
So it's kind of a shame that we have to sacrifice all of our spaces. And also this Artemis person could evolve into a Gorlock.
Of course.
It's like a couple months of bad eating away from becoming Gorlock.
One depressive episode, maybe a broken leg, and you spiral quickly into Gorlock number 2.
Yeah.
Also, just in terms of the not liking someone, you have to be a sick individual to just stick around where you're not wanted. You know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's actually consistent. A sick individual sticking around. You got the fetish thing.
And then
it's
state
so worth it
enforced-
to you.
And then you make the state force the people to do stuff that they didn't want to do.
Thank you, Judge. I'm back.
Yeah.
So
Another situation like that is this teacher mix. It's a mixed teacher.
this is a trans elementary school teacher, Angie Kendall.
So
Angie.
Yeah. And the last name's Kendall. So simulation winks sometimes.
Exactly. Make student call him mixed because he identifies as non-binary. He thinks teachers shouldn't refer to students as boys and girls because it forces a gender on them and they might be queer. He also has a public TikTok account where he sings about practicing deep throat. Would you want this person teaching your kids? And here, I'll read the lyrics. It says, lace up early till I hit 10 free throws. Head to bed early, practicing my deep throat. Kyrie, when you're done taking ankles, come break my back. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, middle school teacher.
Yeah, and so there's this is all from Lives of TikTok. It goes, London students and family, my heart is full of joy and excitement as I head into the 2023-24 school year. My name is Mix Angie, they, them. I come to London school with 9 years teaching experience in the Salem Kaiser School District. I also grew up with teachers as parents, and my passion for education was learned from them. I have wanted to teach in a middle school setting for many years now and firmly believe our blah, blah, blah.
So yeah, firmly believe our London school is a great fit for me.
Me.
It's all about me, this teacher. Everything's about them, not the kids.
Yeah. And one of the things about this type of person, I would pull my kid from this class, and at the worst case scenario, I would say, hey, your teacher's mentally ill. Your teacher has a sick fetish, and society moved in a way that we're not okay with. It's against our religion. So you have to ignore all that stuff. And then it's like the kid, middle school kid, has to go, well, why are they teaching then? It's like a fucked up circular thing where you're not supposed to listen to them about this one thing, but you're supposed to be able to trust them on other stuff.
Teach him history.
Yeah. Herstory. We're teaching herstory in Mix Angie's class.
Yeah. So that's the tough conversations. But exactly. Kids are yanked out.
Yeah. They're out.
In a second. All right, let's move on to the cis men can't give birth duo. There's two of these people.
The way you should structure that sentence is not all men can give birth. Cisgender men are incapable of giving birth because they do not have a female reproductive system. Transgender men do have female reproductive systems. Trans men are real men, and if they choose to, they can give birth. So can trans masculine non-binary people.
Let's cut to the end where the other one's talking.
So, being that you are following us, you obviously know who we are, the fact that I am a trans man, that I am a seahorse dad, and you're trying to nullify my existence because that makes you feel validated?
I like to nullify your existence because it makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah, that way I don't have to face any of the tough shit.
I don't have to face my insecurities and my deeper most thoughts and the truths that are undeniable. I can just make fun of you.
That's why we have the podcast.
It's like drinking.
Yeah.
Without the hangover and actually way easier. It's like, of course, we're using you guys to avoid our own issues.
These people are so slow, too. These people are just so slow and, like, dumb. It's like, who are you convincing with this kind of, like, rhetoric? You just you say the line again. Say the line. Not all men are this. And it's like, you're not adding anything. You're just saying this tapping the sign, basically.
Exactly. Let's move on to less trans stuff.
Okay.
Let's go to the Roblox streamer cleans his room.
Yeah, let's see what this guy's up to. Roblox, that's a popular game, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning my room as a Roblox streamer. Again. First, I went over what we have. We have a roach infestation. I don't think it's caused by me. I think it's just they're really invasive. We've got some bowls we have to clean up. Found this hot dog. July 4th. Alright, we clean up this chair. Get some of these bowls down. That's a little crusted on. Might need to soak it in some hot water first. We have some frappuccinos. Looks like something tried growing in here. Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Yes, on your watch.
Yep.
Now we got some snack trays. Got to clean these up. Don't want my dog to eat them. I think he already did. Some of it's missing. Found a little baby roach trying to get away. Sorry, honey. Didn't mean to leave that down there. Hope you don't mind. Alright, well that's about it. The room's pretty clean now. We've made a lot of good progress. So we're just going to finish up another day. I'm pretty exhausted, so stay tuned.
The room's pretty clean. There's still stuff everywhere.
The roaches. That's not from you.
Yeah, they're invasive. It's not from me, though. The guy has a girlfriend.
Hey.
So
I don't know what to do. The guy has a girlfriend. He's got mold growing everywhere. I guess we'll use this as a reminder to clean your rooms, people.
Yeah. And then also, on his defense for a little bit of it, those salamis are actually good. You just get the dog hair. Those salamis are fine. But that guy's got a girlfriend, and maybe you guys are wondering, oh, can I ask the girl out? I don't make $1 million. I don't drive a Bugatti. The girl doesn't want to date me.
Yeah.
That guy's got a girlfriend.
This is another one of those wake-up calls. Ask for the promotion. Ask the girl out.
Yeah.
This roach guy with 3-week-old moldy shit has a girlfriend. So,
and there's no way it's a bit either, because to get the shots, you'd have to leave the food out.
You have to leave the food out for a week to get the mold.
You can't fake mold. Mm-hmm. So this is not a bit. All right, let's go on. We have to talk about the diarrhea plane. We're going to be quick. Everyone's seen this by now. But there was a flight from America to Barcelona that had to get turned around because a lady had explosive diarrhea, and then she diarrheaed all over the floor of the plane, and then they had to bring a hazmat team in. And they ripped up the rug and threw out the rug
Yeah.
because it was in the fibers.
Yeah.
Deep in the fibers.
So, I don't know. It's a little disappointing to me that we have this whole newsworthy shit plane, biohazard bomb, and the best we get is video of it way after the fact.
We couldn't find one person who thought to film.
Who was on that flight?
I would have got the shot.
Yeah.
So,
Disappointing.
Disappointing. Nightmare situation. Happened to a lady.
That happened to you once too, right?
What?
Flight to Newark, shit everywhere?
And I was the shitter?
Yeah, you shit everywhere.
Oh, that was Jerry. All right. LOL. LOL. All right, let's move on to air conditioning is white supremacy, or should we put that in bonus land?
I want to cover it, so
let's do it.
Let's take a look at this.
So the question is why do Americans use air conditioning so much? And then here's the answer.
There's so many reasons I can think of off the top of my head why Americans are addicted to air conditioning.
While there are many, let's just focus on one: genocide. After they finished colonizing the fuck out of Europe and became white people, and then they came over here, they murdered with abandon the indigenous people here who would know how to live in this land. And then they took all of their practices and building and however they called themselves farming, and they really couldn't even do that in the way that was needed here in the Americas, and brought it over here. Instead of turning around and being okay with the indigenous here and figuring out, hey, we're settlers, we're going to do this. No, in that hoarding, murderous, white culture fashion, they killed everybody that could tell them. And here we are 400 years later, fucked, trying to figure it all out. So that's
what was the question again?
Air conditioning. Air conditioning.
Oh, so that was it was because of white genocide.
Colonialism and then murder, and white people just had to murder so much that I guess she left out that little hinge, that piece that connects the murder to the air conditioning. We were supposed to get there on our own.
But we don't want to question a black woman
of color, yeah. So a black woman speaking, I'll be listening.
Go, oh wow. I thought AC was made because want to be cold instead of too hot.
I thought it was because 71 degrees feels really nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure about all the other stuff you said, but
I'll take your word for it, though. Dude, and isn't this so funny? It's like, this is like an autistic kid at a comic book store, you know? You go, hey, man, I'm looking for Spider-Man issue number 23. And it's like, well, actually, that's the issue where Spider-Man, that's where Venom was first introduced and blah, blah, blah. She just goes off on white people genocide. You wound
Spider-Man
her up.
has the tensile strength. And it's like, buddy, where's the bathroom?
It's for my kid. The comic book's for my kid. Just give me one.
So I guess we should have not invented AC. We should have just been fanning ourselves, like whatever the indigenous folks were doing. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't have invented Taco Bell, Pizza Hut either. That combo where they put them both in the same place. Maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't want you to reach for the stars and get combination Taco Bell and Pizza Huts. So
yeah, no colonial spirit, no American spirit with these people.
Yep.
And then also white supremacy. Just while we're here, the journalists' use of the term white supremacy over the years.
Yeah, we've covered racism before.
Yeah, it's basically zero. And then journalists increased their use of the term white supremacy by 2,862% between 2010 and 2019 across 47 news outlets.
I'm waiting for a trade like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting for my 2,000% gains, my 2,800% gains.
Should have bought options on white supremacy. We would have been rich. All right, let's move on. We're out of cringe of the week. Don't get too down. Don't get too depressed. We're moving on to urban decay, or it's going to get worse.
Yeah, don't get too down. Don't get too depressed, though, just because that's the line we say.
Yep. Okay, let's start with Portland. Portland street rats, naked.
Yeah, it's a big housing problem. There's just not enough affordable housing. That's why these guys are acting up on the streets like this.
Whoa!
Yep, and Nick, we're going to need to edit that frontal nudity.
Fucking hit him, bro.
So he comes around and launches the bike into him. And the naked guy has a chain and is hitting him with the chain, which probably hurts so bad. And then they're wrestling.
This is the best shit ever, bro. No way. Only in Portland. I told him to hit him, bro. I'm like, hit him so he hits the naked.
So they just need more billions of dollars.
You know what they need? A tiny house with a room and a toilet and, some dignity. And then they wouldn't fight naked on the street or be addicted to drugs.
Yeah, we need to give more billions, and then they wouldn't stop doing that. They would stop doing that.
Yeah.
Our grandfathers would have citizens arrested those people.
I know. Isn't that so funny?
Like tied them up.
Yeah.
And the cops would have got there.
And the cops would have hit them with the club a little too hard.
Yeah.
And that's why that's a nice incentive, a little brutality.
Yeah. And it's interesting that they have in front of the business where this fight took place with the naked guy and the guy on the bike, there's a pride flag hanging up.
Oh, yeah.
Because pride is so important, and you got to be a Democrat because Republicans hate trans people. So you have to vote based on that. And the naked street rat fight with chain whipping with the drug addicts, that's fine as long as no one's hateful.
As long as trans people can exist.
Yeah. So as long as we're not voting Republican, whatever else comes. So that's crazy how they boil it down to basically that. It's like a sign.
Yeah.
And then along with the homelessness, there's a sign up for a homeless experience at a country club.
Yeah, this isn't actually near my hometown, but City of Highland Park, Illinois, is partnering with the Alliance for Human Services, Family Focus, Moraine Township, and the Highland Park Community Foundation to host a poverty simulation event to increase residents' understanding and awareness of what it's like to be in poverty in Lake County. The simulation will be held from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
For 2.5 hours.
At a country club.
At a country club. So the first step of the experience is you go into an alley and you rip out an air conditioner wall unit.
Copper. You got to be constantly scanning for copper, right?
You sell it for $5, and then that gives you you can share a hit with someone else.
Checking car doors. Fentanyl, crack.
Yeah.
But so you're supposed to experience a month of homelessness in 2.5 hours, and then what? Be nice to homeless people?
Yeah.
Like, the old school type of homeless, down on your luck, Vietnam vet type of guy, can't hold a job, has some PTSD. Those guys are so much rarer now than the fentanyl addicted perpetual thief. And one of the things that I think we've talked about a little bit is like, if you're homeless and you can't show any source of income or anything like that, obviously they don't hold down normal jobs, but there's a certain thing where we know you're just stealing, Like I can imply that if you've lived on the street for this long and you're doing X amount of drugs a day, I can backtrack into the daily economic value that you've stolen. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like fentanyl costs, let's give it, it's cheap, right? Let's give it $15 a day of fentanyl. And you haven't gone to work. I know, you're not even really begging. I know you're stealing that much. So it's just and they want you to feel empathetic, right? The people at the country club feel empathetic for homeless people because it's cold, because it's this. It's like they're using that old definition of homeless to get you to feel empathy for the new class of homeless, which is just drug addicted thieves.
And by the time you realize that it's not the same, we're where we're at now.
Yeah. And these are the type of people, I felt empathy for the homeless. It's so cold in Chicago. I let him into my house. $1,500 worth of shit is gone, and it didn't work out. I won't be doing that again. But it's just a different breed these days.
Yeah, it's different. So let's move on. That's a good point. Let's go to Mayor Adams.
Yeah,
Mayor Adams is backtracking.
This is from going viral kind of on Thursday, and he's at his wit's end in New York.
Support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
So he hates brown people?
Yeah, that's Donald Trump, right?
Who's this racist?
Who's this racist, bigot, xenophobic asshole? And he goes on to say 10,000 a day or something.
I think it's 10,000 a month.
10,000 immigrants a month. Big distinction there.
Yeah.
And they're coming from all over, Venezuela, Russians, different classes of people. And he's explaining the problem that we've explained forever, where if you can get to the southern border, you can get into the country.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And he's come a long way from his tweet. This is a tweet of his from 2021 where he said, "We should protect our immigrants, period. Yes, New York City will remain a sanctuary city under Adams' administration." Okay, here you go. This is what you get.
Enjoy the negative $8 billion, the deficit that from all the costs of these like lowlifes, basically. These people are leeches. They want to use and abuse America and take all the tax dollars that you could reasonably be spending on the many problems that New York does actually have, right?
Yeah, and everyone says, like, oh, these people just want a better life. And it's like,
they need to be able to afford it.
We're talking about millions of people that are coming here, and then the amount of people that want a better life and want to come here is in the billions.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's not a
1,000x.
It's not a reasonable thing of like, well, we'll take care of this 5 million and then that solves everything. It'll be a never-ending supply of people that want to better their lives and come here.
And it turns out, I guess, that the busing of migrants to New York and the political stunt is actually choking them out.
It works.
So effective, effective there. And the other thing, the spending money-wise, the sad part about this is New York is going to be on their soapbox because obviously it's a Democrat-run city. But Mayor Adams is going to be on a soapbox demanding federal aid. And then the money, the federal money that comes from everyone in America is going to eventually bail New York out. And they're going to spend a ton of it. I mean, that's coming next, right?
Yeah. Isn't it interesting that we are able to know this was going to happen? And like for years, we've been saying, oh, all these illegals is not good. It's all taxpayer dollars. Can't afford it. Not enough resources. Everyone's sleeping on the ground. We have our own people to take care of.
Yeah.
And we were seen as like extremist right-wing people. And then we were right. And we're just two guys with a podcast. And you're the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And we knew it better than you.
I mean, and it's a pretty simple premise, right? There's not just an unlimited number of resources out there. There's X amount of caseworkers. There's X amount of rooms publicly available, you know? And 10 million people, I don't know, is that going to stress the system? Like, are you guys fucking dumb? So
yeah, people should pay us to consult.
And at least it's affecting New York now, you know? And at least it's affecting Chicago. And it's funny because these Democrat cities where they have a stronghold of 90% Democrat voting black people, you know, the black population, which is higher in inner cities, is voting so heavily for Democrats. And now they're the ones yelling. They're the ones saying, no, how could you do this? These people are taking our space, taking our jobs, occupying our areas, right?
Yep. But
So
now
it's-
they're racist.
It's kind of justice.
Yep. And then also Bill Maloogian had a good update, or a bad update, but he broke it.
In a legal win for the Biden Department of Justice, a federal judge has issued an injunction against the state of Texas, ordering it to remove all 1,000 feet of river buoy barriers in the Rio Grande in Eagle Pass, Texas by September 15th.
So those spike balls need to be removed because it makes it too hard to get into the country illegally. So we have to make it easier for everyone to come across. Also, there's a headline: $2,200 per family. Outrage. Border Patrol agent reveals Biden regime gives $2,200 of taxpayers' money per illegal immigrant family each month, plus a plane ticket, housing, food, free medical service. That's what everyone's getting.
Haven't gotten anything free from the government, like, ever. COVID, maybe.
COVID,
People who
yeah.
got the COVID checks, and that was obviously not worth it and brought on the most inflation of all time.
Yeah, but that's what they're just giving away. And then, you know, everyone who votes Democrat because we're not racist like the Republicans. It's like the dog in the burning house meme. And it's like, this is fine as long as we're not racist Republicans.
Yeah. I'll put up with anything as long as nobody calls me a racist. And that's the
Exactly.
power of not giving a fuck what someone calls you, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to read this Chicago story, too, because I thought this was a nice underreported one. Migrants, cops, clash. This is from CWB Chicago, which reports honestly on Chicago. This is like an independent news organization. Migrants, cops clash again after thief steals high-security Chicago police radio from station's front desk. And as you guys know, I think we've covered it before, the migrants are just being housed in police stations in Chicago. That's their overflow. There's pictures of like cots lined up. So the cops go into work trying to run the city, and they're just shoulder to shoulder with illegals. Here's what the article says. For a second day in a row, migrants living near West 12th District Station have clashed with Chicago police officers who work there. Wednesday's incident began at around 6:40 a.m. in the station's lobby. And without identifying the location as a police station, a Chicago police spokesperson said a male offender took property from the above location and attempted to flee. So they're trying to like obscure it. Police, when they're doing their PR move, the police are trying to obscure it. Despite the migrant's efforts, officers caught the thief and recovered the radio. Both the thief and migrant who tripped the officer are in custody with charges pending. So a thief came into the police station, tried to steal a $1,000 radio that's encrypted so that they can listen to the encrypted police talking because they're criminals and they like to know what the police are doing and the information. And so a migrant who's living in the police station tries to trip an officer who's giving chase. Goes, no, I'm on the unknown criminal side. Immediately.
You're living in the police station.
Yeah, and so they learned, they chased the migrant. They got them both arrested. The officer sustained minor injuries and was transported to an area hospital in good condition. But yeah, this is what's up. Like a weird Mexican person, or probably Venezuelan, we don't even know. Some migrant comes to America and immediately starts siding with the thief over the police, even though they're staying with the police.
Living in the police station.
So, hey.
At least you're not a Republican.
At least you're not racist, guys.
Yeah, at least you can't vote for Donald Trump. All right, let's move on to the woman who got shot by the cops when she tried to run them over with her car. This is the new George Floyd.
New George Floyd attempt, but they're not able to muster up as much. This is Takia Young. Here's the video.
Stop.
So she was caught stealing alcohol.
Out of the car.
She's pregnant and stealing alcohol.
Out of the car.
She's trying to have a good
Out
time.
of the car. Out of the car. Out of the car. They said your soul stuff, do not leave. Get out of the Then get out. No, then get out. Get out of the car. Out of the car. Out of the car. They said your soul stuff, do not leave. Get out of the Then get out. No, then get out.
Sounds pretty clear.
Just get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
And then it turns into shooting.
Bang, bang, bang. Dead person.
You were trying to run over the cop, and you were stealing, and all you had to do was get out of the car. They caught you stealing probably $150 worth of stuff. You go to get a little fine. You probably don't even go to jail.
You get out that day. That's how it works now.
And it's just another thing on your record that you probably already have.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you had to stop. And Mehmet Sistovic had a great tweet. He said, it's hard to build a mental model of someone who sees two cops with guns drawn and decides to try to run one over instead of simply getting out of the car.
I personally can't relate. I don't know what that mental model is, but I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't feel bad.
And she heard them every time. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stop right there. Get out of the car. You're not going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and someone DM'd me when I posted about this and I said, this many months pregnant, stealing liquor. Lovely person, I'm sure. Right? Just being like a sarcastic asshole. And somebody goes, yeah, she deserved to get executed by cops. And it's like, without a trial. And it's like, no, but she knew what the consequences could be from that and still did it. Like, I'm tired of like the responsibility just like going on whoever. Like, hey, you don't deserve that. So it's your wrongdoing, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like you being in control of your own emotions. Everybody in America knows what happens with cops, right?
Yeah.
It's not that complex of a situation.
They point their guns. They tell you to do something. You do it. And then even if they're in the wrong, then just fully listen and then sue them.
You might get a sweet settlement later.
You'll probably get a huge settlement. I would actually like for a cop to wrongfully, interrogate me or, lock me up or whatever. And then I go, oh, you guys shouldn't have done that. You didn't have to do that. You did this. You shouldn't have done that. I'm suing you for $1 million. And the city doesn't go, okay, you kind of got him. Here's $1 million. But you start the car and drive into where the cop is and the guy's pointing the gun at you. Yep. And now BLM is going to be like mobilizing. They had some protests.
I don't think they can mobilize anymore. I think it's extremely hard to do it unless it's so egregious, and all cops are on this not egregious path. And remember, we showed a video where a cop was riding. It might have been in Bonus Land, but we showed a video where a cop was riding on the hood of a car like that, this exact situation.
And he didn't.
The guy was driving away and the cop refused to shoot him.
Because he didn't want to get fired and, protested and George Floyded.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what happens. All right, let's go to the lady who's proud of stealing. No audio.
Copyright music, so we can't be using this, but look at, just fill in the bags at CVS or Walgreens, whichever it is.
Did you bring your own bags from home because you don't want to use plastic?
Yeah.
No,
I'm just stealing.
I'm just taking it.
And she does like this.
There's her buddy.
And, these people should just be in a prison cell because it's not about the act, in my mind. It's about how brazen and open and unafraid they are. So it's like, if you showed this to a judge, they'd say, you did this to the camera? Okay, I'm going to give you the maximum sentence possible.
You're stealing makeup and stuff?
Yeah, it's nothing that's important to you. Like we did the power tools last week.
Yeah.
And
this
now
guy can't flip burgers? He can't work a construction job?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it should be in and out of jail until you finally get the burgers or construction job.
Or until you get enough convictions where you just go to jail for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're done. And then there was another Memetic Sisyphus tweet. Make sure you guys are following Memetic Sisyphus. He's one of the smartest guys on Twitter, friend of ours, friend of the show. He's linked in the description. Someone tweeted, something the law and order crowd hasn't quite been able to square away is why, if what the U.S. needs is more incarceration, we have higher rates of crime despite having by far the highest rate of incarceration among peer nations.
And Memetic Sisyphus says, because black culture, there are 7 black guys killed a day by stolen handgun. Remove them from the data and the U.S. crime and incarceration rate is in line with the EU's. Whenever we tailor policies of policing or incarceration to address this issue, the policies get called racist, the media gins up outrage, and the policies get thrown out. That way, those 7 black guys can be killed every day.
And that's basically what we're seeing here. Everyone's talking about incarceration rates. We lock up too many people. I think we need to lock up more.
Well, I don't care about the rate. I care about a crime and a sentence. I care about each individual case. I don't care about the rate or the rate compared to the first world or the rate compared to Baltimore compared to West Ohio,
Exactly. And then when you debate the incarceration rate, you're basically saying some criminals shouldn't go to jail for crimes, or like which crimes should be ignored because the rate's too high.
Exactly. And I personally don't care. It sounds like America has a lot of criminals, and I'm seeing it. We see it every day in Urban Decay. I'm shoplifting, stealing whatever I want. That person should be in a cage until they don't do that anymore, right?
And if they keep doing it, they go in a cage for longer, and then that's it. And I don't care about what the rate is in Europe, where all the twinks over there.
Yeah, I don't care about the little limp wrist. I mean, that's a joke. But and again, we're getting more to the point, and we've talked about this before, where I don't care about the rehabilitation of the criminal because they can just go back in. And I don't give a shit if they get rehabilitated. I just want them out of our nice world because we should have a nice world. And if you're a criminal like this, you shouldn't be a part of it. And that's
exactly.
It. It's about us. It's not about them or rehabilitating them or how mean it is to them because they could have avoided it.
And then they can go serve a sentence and then get out and go, okay, is it worth stealing from Walgreens to go to jail again for 18 months? And they're going to go, no. And if they don't go no, then they're not very smart. And
they're not ready yet.
And then they go back.
They should go back.
You got caught stealing from Walgreens again after you went to jail the first time. Now it's 36 months.
Double it and give it to the next person. You.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right, let's move on. Don't get too down. Don't get too depressed. We're moving on to uplifting gold. We end the week every week with some uplifting stuff. All right, let's go to the first one, the great white shark. Look at the size of this great white shark on the back of this boat. Look at that.
They caught it?
I think so.
Dude, that's a great white.
That's a big old fish right there, or mammal.
It's a fish. I think sharks are fish, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go to the boats pushing the island next. We can read the description of it.
Every year, locals of Chippewa have to push back an island back into place using 25 gas-powered boats. This is just like a floating piece of acreage that they...
That's pretty cool.
Little time lapse. They just get it off the bridge so it doesn't block anything. And there's trees on it.
And they got to move it around. That's acreage.
That's acreage.
That's Americana. Every year they do it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good. It's good American knowledge. All right, let's go to the little pig spinning. This is more for the stupid people. So you got to pick up the pig, and you spin him around, and he likes it. He likes it. See, that's good. That's uplifting.
Yeah,
I don't feel as bad about the low incarceration rate.
I want the incarceration rate up here, and I want the pig rate up too. It's easy. There's a good world that can be had out here if we just
so true.
If we just impose our will a little bit.
We can have both. All right, let's go to the hook and ladder football play. This is probably the most ridiculous one I've ever seen.
They were down 30-28 at their own 41-yard line with 2.9 seconds left.
And then this happened. So it's a hook and ladder. He gets it up. Still going. This is kind of where it's like, all right, it's over.
Yeah.
What are we doing? It's a fumble. It's a fumble.
And this is like, oh, it's over. And then he goes. And there's no one. And he won the game. That's pretty good.
We get a couple of those every year, right? Like,
yeah.
There's enough football being played in America that one of those hits every once in a while. So
that's good Americana.
Yeah.
And then let's do our last clip, the prayer candle.
Mommy, why would they put Jesus like that?
That's a prayer candle, baby. So they have like the Mother Mary and all that. What?
Joe Biden, really?
The Pope.
What?
That's Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden.
That's Joe Biden.
And it's like Joe Biden.
That's the Pope. That's St. John Paul.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Joe Biden's Catholic. Catholic Joe.
Yeah, Catholic Joe.
Loves abortion.
He's devout.
Yeah.
Well, that is another Fleckus Talks in the books.
Like, share, subscribe.
All that good stuff. Make sure you guys join FleckusTalks.com for Bonus Land, which drops at 2 o'clock Eastern today. Another 30 minutes. We're talking about a lot of fun stuff, really good, important clips. And then also FleckusMerch.com for the new podcast shirts. People have been loving those. People are getting those, and they're posting them, so make sure you guys do that. And also post the show. Post the show. We'll repost it. Show us where you're watching from. Show us how you watch it and all that good stuff. And then we didn't do a business shout out today.
Okay.
But we're going to do it. We're going to pick that back up next Friday.
Okay.
So don't get too down. Don't get too depressed.
Don't get too depressed. Guys, please don't.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on Tuesday.